mozzarella Corozza the authentic way, you're gonna need some flour, some olive oil, some salt and pepper, some mozzarella, some egg, and some plain old white bread. And that's basically it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is cut off the crust. Next thing I'm gonna do is put the mozzarella down. And these are thinner slices. And I'm not giving you measurements or anything because obviously you can measure this one yourself. Maybe I'll do this. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Press. Okay. I'm gonna turn the pan on. Okay. And I'm gonna add a tab of butter and a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit, it doesn't need a lot. Just take my little sandwich and dip it in the flour first. And that's going to kind of help so the egg sort of doesn't absorb into the bread too much and make it soggy. It's sort of like a little protective seal. Okay, and right into the egg. Try to do that kind of quickly and right into the pan. Okay, I'm gonna let that cook in the pan on this side. And I'm gonna do my same trick, just kind of get the sides a bit. If it seems to be cooking too fast, you can always just turn the heat down a bit. Ready to flip. Use the help of my little spoon. It's beautiful. Kind of like French toast. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this go for 30 more seconds and then we'll be ready to plate. Graining some mozzarella and Corozza is finished. Cut it long ways or triangular. Triangular just seems more natural. Okay, so the ingredients we're going to be needing for mozzarella and Corozza is some bread, any kind of bread, white bread, Italian bread, some mozzarella. So this is like a low moisture mozzarella. You don't want it to be too watery, you know, because then it will leak out all over the place. You need some fresh sweet Italian basil leaves. You need some egg. So I'm adding some sun-dried tomatoes to it. I'm adding a little bit of butter. And instead of dipping it in flour and then egg, I'm actually going to be dipping it in egg and then breadcrumb and frying it. So a little bit more fattening, but it's also pretty exciting, and it's kind of my little twist on a mozzarella and Corozza. So let's get started. Okay, super simple. All you're gonna do to make the sandwich is just put the mozzarella down. Okay, nice and easy. And then we're going to put the basil down. And then the sun-dried tomatoes. And now you can choose, you can put like another layer of mozzarella on top, whatever you want. So the way my grandma used to make this, which is the traditional mozzarella and Corozza, is very simple. She just used plain white bread and mozzarella and egg and flour. And she would basically just put the mozzarella in the sandwich, maybe a little bit of salt and pepper, and then she would dip it in flour and then dip it in egg, and then she would fry it in some olive oil, and then that was it. And it was delicious like that, but because this is sandwich of the month, and you know, I want to kind of add my own little twist, I'm doing it a little bit differently today. Okay, so this is ready to go. I just am pressing down on it just so nothing kind of falls out. I'm gonna get my pan lit, get it hot, and I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil and butter in the pan. So now what we're gonna do is, I got some breadcrumbs here, and of course you could just use flour, that's fine. And I just added a little bit of salt and pepper because my breadcrumbs are fresh, and I just wanted to give it a little bit of flavor. I've also tried it before where I put fresh grated cheese in with the breadcrumbs as well, and that was really good. But now, I'm just going to dip the bread in the egg, carefully. It's a little messy, that's okay. And then I'm going to try to get the sides here a bit. And then I'm going to dip it in the breadcrumb. Okay, and now I'm going to get it right in the pan. Okay, so I got it in the pan. And now what I do so I can get the sides is I just tip my spoon and I kind of just like, you know, put the oil and the butter against the sides, so then that way the sides kind of get nice and crispy as well. They don't get left alone. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to let it fry on this side. When I think it's ready, I'm going to give it a flip, probably maybe just another minute. And if you find that it's browning too quickly, you can just lower the heat a bit, and then that way you give the cheese more time to melt. So that's basically it. I'm just going to let this go for maybe 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to put it on a plate, and we're ready to eat. Cut this open. Always nice to cut on a diagonal. Okay everybody, so let's give it a try. I know it's going to be good because I make this often. And sometimes I make it the traditional way, and sometimes I make it like this. Sometimes I add it, you know, add some meat into it. You can really do whatever you want. So, here we go. It's beautiful. It's very good. It's, you know, exactly what you would expect. It's nice and creamy and rich from mozzarella, but I like the sun-dried tomatoes and basil in there because it kind of gives a little bit of sharpness, a little bit of a kick. So anyway, I hope you give this recipe a try. And also, I am doing this recipe for an entry on Tasty Memories, which is Jen's page. I had won a contest previously for making her recipe for onigiri and changing a little bit. So this time, Jen is going to be making my mozzarella and Corozza, and she's going to be changing a little bit. So if you are interested in checking out what Jen does with my recipe, you can maybe check out her page, and I will also put a link in the description box to her page. I don't know when she's going to be posting it, but yeah, I hope you check it out, and thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye everyone.